Welcome to Spectrum of Innovation. I'm Gabriela Venturo, and this is Spectrum of Innovation. Thank you for joining us for our special edition COVID-19 March episode of Spectrum of Innovation, your trusted news and information source for Riverside County. You can find us on Rivco TV, Temecula and Murrieta Community Access channels, YouTube, all social media platforms, and our website, spectrumofinnovation.org. We are working differently right now, and some elements of our production are uniquely acquired due to social distancing orders. But we still have a very informative show for you. Joining us remotely will be special guest, Temecula's Mayor Stu, Murrieta Mayor Gene Wunderlich, Temecula's Economic Development Manager Christine Damko, Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Emily Falapino, and business owner Jennifer Sevilla. You'll want to see what they have to say about the current crisis. First, we start off with an uplifting story, which was filmed before the governor's stay-in-place order. Our Spotlight segment focuses on Save the Animals Today, a local nonprofit horse rescue organization that not only saves animals, but also serves the special needs community. SOI team member Aaron Perris joined me to find out more about this wonderful organization.
We're here in Winchester at Stat Horse Sanctuary, otherwise known as Save the Animals Today, to learn a little more about them. This nonprofit was established in 2007, and over the years, Stat has rescued dozens of horses and a variety of farm animals.
Stat Sanctuary is an animal haven where rescued horses are nursed back to health. Homes can easily be found for young horses, but it's difficult to place older horses, making this ranch their forever home.
So we let them pretty much live out to an old age. They'll lose teeth, and so we have to watch that and make sure that they keep their weight proper. Losing vision, getting cataracts on their eyes. As long as they're eating and showing interest when people come up and they're taking the carrots and they're holding their weight, then this is Horsey Hospice.
Initially, Stat was supported by providing horse leases and riding lessons to the community. But as the horses became too old to be ridden, the nonprofit's founder decided they still have a lot to offer, but in a different way.
Even though they can't be ridden, they are absolutely wonderful companion and therapy animals. These are ex-show horses, so they're really well trained. They don't get scared of loud noises, airplanes going over, cars backfiring. They've seen it all during their life. What we've done by repurposing them, now we're serving the special needs community, the veterans community. We have therapists that are actually coming out and working with their clients and the horses. You just can't ride them in a horse show or for 4 hours on a trail.
The horses seem to know that their special clients need extra care.
When we're working with somebody with PTSD, the horses are very, very sensitive. You know, you've heard people say, oh, the horse knows I'm scared. Mm-hmm. It knows you're scared. It knows when you're happy, when you're sad. It knows when you're sick. So they're very observant. I don't know how, but they know. The disabled, whether it's autism or somebody in a wheelchair, they react so incredibly different. It's amazing.
So cool. I bet that's amazing to watch.
I almost get emotional talking about it. Yeah.
Those who visit the ranch can also interact with other animals living at the sanctuary, some of which are available for adoption.
We now have 7 little pigs. We've got goats, alpacas, llamas, sheep, chickens, roosters, and ducks.
Their work with animals and humans alike has earned Save the Animals Today several awards, including Murrieta's Nonprofit of the Year in 2012, Inland Valley Business Community Foundation's Community Organization of the Year in 2014, and was most recently named Ruby Charitable Organization of 2019 by the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce. Quite an achievement for an organization that began by chance.
What made you start Save the Animals Today?
Well, it was an accident. I assisted somebody who was going to rescue 5 or 6 horses, and I said, well, you can leave them at my property if you feed them and take care of them. Don't come this particular weekend, I won't be there. When I came back, there were 23 starving horses on the property. I had some of my own horses, but no, I had no intention of being a rescue.
Why didn't you turn to other facilities to house these abandoned horses?
I called 32 other rescues from Arizona to Washington, Oregon, Nevada, and they were all full. They had no options.
As Stat Horse Sanctuary continues to serve animals that have landed in their care, the organization relies heavily on the community to continue their work.
How do volunteers and local businesses help?
Volunteers are very essential here because we are totally supported by donations and totally staffed by volunteers. Any of the work that's getting done, stalls being cleaned, horses being fed, it's all wonderful volunteers. We do have corporate sponsorship programs available. We partner. We'll find a program. If the corporation sponsors it, we do a lot of social media promotion for them, press releases, signage on Scott Road available. That's how the business community can help, and we can help them.
Save the Animals is determined to continue fostering the kind of symbiotic relationships between horses and humans that enhance all the lives involved. The acts of kindness and generosity STAT receives from the community are vital and allow this nonprofit to keep doing its good work.
We here at Spectrum of Innovation appreciate the work Save the Animals does. If you would like to learn more about this organization or find out how you or your business can help, go to our website where we will have all the info. Now it's time for our Need to Know segment where we bring you up to date on current Riverside County news and events. Here at Spectrum of Innovation, we were in the middle of our monthly production schedule when everyday things began changing. A week ago, Governor Newsom issued a stay-at-home order to protect everyone's health and slow the spread of COVID-19. Our executive producer, Diane Strand, and I spoke via Zoom with Temecula Mayor James Stewart and Murrieta Mayor Jean Wunderlich to obtain some local city perspective to this crisis.
Let me know how things are going running a city remotely from your home.
So our city manager and our city staff are the ones that are actually running the city. And they're basically running it 24/7 right now. They're doing a great job. Let me put it that way. I mean, our city staff and city manager are pretty amazing at what they do. So for me personally, it's just been advising him and him being an informational conduit to me, to let me know what's happening within the city, our business community, our citizens. And so, again, I can't thank our city staff enough for what they're doing.
You know, City Hall may be closed, but we're still working every day to process, development plans. Once we get through this, we have to continue to build. We have to continue to grow. We have to continue to add businesses and houses and take care of citizens.
So what are some of the plans the city is working on to get business back to normal once this is all lifted?
Well, that's probably been the hardest thing for the city and the citizens is not working. We're just going to be out there supporting businesses, any kind of infrastructure that's necessary for them to get their businesses open as quickly as possible.
All the mayors are working together. The city councils are working together, trying to keep our elderly safe and secure. Our public safety personnel are out there on the front lines every day.
So can you tell us some examples that you've seen or how you feel the community is coming together in this challenging time?
We've seen a lot of inspirational just chalk drawings by kids on the neighborhood sidewalks, and people are putting up Christmas lights in March and teddy bears in windows and just things to maybe spark a smile.
I had two ladies, actually a nurse and a pharmacist, who is really at the forefront of this whole thing. In a Facebook post, they said, "Hey, we bake during times like this. Do you want some banana bread and some cookies?" And of course I said yes. And so they dropped them off at my front doorstep. So I think it's little things like that. I think you're gonna hear stories probably for who knows how long, of people who after the fact said, "Oh, so-and-so did this for me," or "So-and-so brought over this product for me," So I think it is happening quite a bit out there.
So is there anything else you'd like to share with the residents and the region as a whole?
Yeah. Well, I would say just stay at home if you can. Get outside when you need to, because I think connecting with nature is one of the most healthiest things we can do, especially in a time like this. And look at my Facebook page, Temecula Stew, because I have a lot of information that comes straight from the city about this pandemic, about what the city wants you to do and not want you to do. I have a lot of helpful hints, even on how to keep your kids busy.
Stay informed, but try not to drown in the drama. There's a lot of, there's a lot of hysteria out there. A lot of folks coming up with uninformed things. Well, I heard from a cousin's friend that, this and this. No. Stay informed with the real deal. Turn the news off for a while. Get off of Facebook for a little while. You can find a lot of reliable and timely information on the Riverside County Public Health website, some federal websites out there, or you can get access to all these through www.murrietaca.gov/coronavirus.
Thank you, Mayor Stu and Mayor Jean. It was good to check in and hear their reassuring words. You can find the links that they mention on our website. The COVID-19 outbreak is affecting all aspects of our lives, even some of the things we never thought would change, like when you pay your taxes. But now everything has changed. The federal and California state government has postponed the filing and tax payment deadline for 2020 to July 15th, 2020. Now, while preparing for your taxes might not be the first thing you're thinking about right now, it is a productive way to fill the time while staying at home. With that in mind, we want to set a few myths straight to help you avoid misinformation that might affect the amount you owe and get back from the IRS. Are you ready for our true or false tax quiz? Let's see what myths are true or false. Myth number 1, filing an extension on your taxes gives you extra time to pay owed taxes. This is false. Requesting an extension to file your taxes does not mean you get extra time to pay owed taxes. COVID-19 has granted extra time, but regardless, at this point in time, July 15th is the deadline to pay all owed federal taxes. Now, there are good and bad reasons to file for an extension. A bad reason to apply for an extension would be if you're simply trying to avoid the tax bill. A good reason would be if you need to gather extra forms or are experiencing a life-changing event like childbirth, death, or a natural disaster. Keep an eye out for updates if tax deadlines change or more extensions are allowed due to COVID-19. Right now, with a properly filed extension, eligible taxpayers can request a 6-month extension to file their return. Myth number 2, there is nothing you can do to get your refund sooner. Actually, that myth is incorrect. You can get your refund faster by using e-file or direct deposit. However, there is no golden rule as to when you will receive it. The IRS says it takes about 21 days for refunds to process. Luckily, you can check your federal refund status online, and we have that link on our website for you. Myth number 3, a pay raise means less pay that I get to take home. That's neither true or false. According to Credit Karma, it depends. A pay raise may cause you to take less pay home, but only if the raise causes a jump in your tax bracket. However, the benefit is that you only pay taxes on the amount that falls in that higher bracket. A pay raise is always a good thing. Myth number 4, students don't have to pay taxes. This actually depends on how much a student brings home as income. Students that are claimed as a dependent and make less than $12,200 in a year are not required to pay income tax. Myth number 5, I can claim my pet as a dependent. Hey, I'm a dog mom, and one could only hope. They are an expense, but let's face it, they're not humans. So unfortunately, no. Falsely claiming a pet as a dependent is fraud. Myth number 6, a home office deduction sets you up for an automatic audit. Years ago, this myth may have been partially true. Thankfully, they're much more common, so with legitimate reason, there is no need to fear claiming a home office for your business thinking it will trigger an audit. We hope you passed our quiz with flying colors and eased some stress. You also need to know that according to the Riverside County Treasurer, tax collector, the April 10th deadline for paying property taxes cannot be extended. Late payment fees might be waived under special circumstances. Check out our website for links to more info. JDS Creative Academy and Spectrum of Innovation want to give a shout out to all women in honor of March being Women's History Month. We had planned to explore how women in Riverside County have helped to shape California's past, present, and future through activism. Unfortunately, COVID-19 swept in, and we have had to push that story back to an upcoming episode to give it the attention it deserves. But nonetheless, way to go, women. We have made and are continuing to make a difference. Let's keep it going. Now back to today's new normal. The governor's stay-at-home order has forced business to transform much of the workforce to working remotely. We take a look at how that transition is going and explore ways to make these changes easier for all. I think it's fair to say that we are all trying to adjust to working remotely. Believe me, there are benefits. I can walk to work. I don't have to wear shoes if I don't want to. I can eat snacks all day, but it's not all rainbows and potato chips. Finding a workflow from home takes some practice. We decided to reach out to some community members to see how their days are going.
Can you talk about some of the challenges you might be facing as you're working from home?
Yeah, I think like a lot of other people, the technology is great, but it's also difficult. I recommend always try to schedule a Zoom meeting first thing in the morning. That way you have to get up, you have to get dressed, you have to get ready.
Well, as a business owner and an employee, how are you supporting other local businesses throughout this time of crisis?
I am on the board for the Murrieta Wildomar Chamber of Commerce, and being able to be a resource through that, the chambers, all the chambers are literally working tirelessly trying to get as much out information to the businesses and community members, as well as advocating for them. We're going to get through this and we're going to be fine. And having that strong community engagement is what's going to make us stronger when all this is over.
The Chamber's been putting together some really great lists and collaborating information. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
And so we're essentially pulling together a list and guide of any restaurants that are open for grab and go services, takeout, delivery, all of that good stuff. And we are updating the list daily and publishing who's open for business. And we encourage you to shop local.
So what kind of tips do you have for businesses who have transitioned into remote working?
I think it's imperative that all of us as employers and employees remember that it's going to take some time to adapt. This is a great time for us all to be innovative and creative. There was an expression we all started using quite a while ago, and it was, there's an app for that. And the reality is, there is an app for just about everything. So some of my favorites, I use Trello and Monday if you need to manage projects and timelines and deadlines across different roles and people. There are apps like this, Zoom, who can connect you with your team and with your customers and your audience. If you're an individual or a business that is struggling, I implore you to connect with us so that we can connect you with the resources to help.
You know, let's look to the future. So we're going to get past this. We all know we're going to get through this together. But then, you know, businesses have to get back up and working. What about the employee who goes to the business and says, oh, I can do that from home now?
I think we all as managers need to be willing to learn from this experience. And we really need to be paying attention to what productivity looks like in various forms. But we also have to make decisions in the best interest of our organizations.
So how is the city of Temecula doing remote work?
Our top priority is keeping our residents and businesses, keeping them safe and healthy. But we also want to keep economic development moving as much as we can during this time. Although the public cannot physically go into City Hall, they can still access our same services, all virtually. So through our website, you're essentially able to do everything that you did before by walking into City Hall. You can just do it in the comfort of your own home. Permitting is all virtual, which is pretty cool. And I think this is a feature that will be used even after this is over.
If there is a silver lining, maybe we can all just take advantage of what we're actually getting done and being productive. Because I have to admit, working from home is really kicking me in gear. So it's kind of nice.
Right? I just need to put my 2 kids to work. I need to get them to work.
With the challenges ahead, it's good to know we have resources and support as we all do our part to flatten the curve. At JDS Creative Academy, we too are finding new remote ways to get the job done. Although considered an essential business, we are mostly working from home, only having needed staff on site for production. Thanks to our digital industry, we can still provide the need to know, even if it's at the comfort of our own home. At this point in time, it appears that the remote-based workforce will be in place for a while. Tune in to the remote JDS Studio social updates, where I'll be sharing more tips to make working from home a little easier, how we here at JDS are getting along, and some SOI news and information all rolled in together. Due to the shortage of proper personal protective equipment caused by the COVID-19 outbreak, our creative designer, Hannah Davis, who makes my outfit, has created a quick virtual tutorial. Using minimal materials and resources, she teaches Addie, our backstage director, on how to make your own mask.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and this is Addie. Today, we're going to be going over how to make a homemade DIY mask. The materials that you'll be needing are 3 pieces of cotton fabric and 2 pieces of 7-inch elastic. The thinner your elastic, the better. First, we're going to start off with our lining fabric, okay, and then we're going to start with our other fabric. And if you have a right side, make sure your right side is facing upwards. And now we're going to take our elastic and we're going to be pinning on both sides. And when you're pinning your elastic, make sure you're pinning about 1/2 inch in. So now that you have both sides pinned, go ahead and lay your second layer on top with your right sides touching. And then you're gonna go ahead and pin all the way along so that you can sew these pieces together, but leave about a 2-inch opening. It's gonna be on your 6-inch side where you have your elastic. Like this, all the way around. We're gonna go ahead and sew along those edges. And I would do 1/4 inch for your seam. Okay, so yours should end up looking like this with a little bit of a section opened. Go ahead and unpin everything. Now when you're done, go ahead and flip your mask right side out. Okay, so now that we have our mask flipped right side out, what we're gonna do with these raw edges, go ahead and just tuck them in, and we're gonna begin doing our pleats in our mask. So they could be about like 3 inches wide, just depending on how much you want that.
And then we're just pinning it where we fold it?
Yes, pin the sides, and you're just gonna be folding it twice and making 2. Yes, perfect. And so you're gonna be sewing along the edges, the sides. So once you finish sewing, you can go ahead and take out your pins. So now that you've taken your pins out and you have your pleats done, this is your finished mask. So now it looks a little small, but once you open it, it's perfect.
Awesome, thank you. Well, I'm excited to be able to use this to go to the grocery store and help protect myself at least a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Addie and Hannah, for that informative and timely how-to. We really appreciate everyone who has come together, from our staff to our community, to get this episode of Spectrum of Innovation out to our viewers. You can't see him, but behind the scenes is SOI team member and pre-apprentice Connor Winters, who is here out doing our technical switching today. Thanks, Connor. Now for our Good to Know segment. Normally, this is where we share events taking place in the county. However, in light of the current climate of uncertainty over the coronavirus, we went looking for some other good-to-know news. SOIT member, pre-apprentice Aaron Perris volunteered to come in to help me share the good-to-know information while we all maintain a 6-foot social distance, of course.
Thank you, Gabriella. I'm happy to be here. And here are some tips to keep you calm, focused, and energized. Meditation can focus you on the positive and help keep you calm. Implement some quiet time, maybe do a little yoga, and get the whole family involved. You can take a walk and get some fresh air simply for a change of scenery.
One way to keep yourself and the kids busy is education and professional development. Scribd is opening up its library at no cost for a month, and LinkedIn is offering free classes and tips on how to build relationships when you're not face-to-face, stay productive and social. BrainPop, Quizlet, and Khan Academy are just a few websites that can help occupy the kids, and abcmouse.com is free right now by using code SCHOOL771. Don't be afraid to reach out to your child's teachers to get ideas and learning techniques to ease the transition into distance learning.
Of course, all these things we just mentioned do require internet. Luckily, Comcast, Charter, Verizon, Google, T-Mobile, and Sprint have signed a pledge to keep Americans' internet connected for the next 60 days, even if people cannot afford to pay. The community is coming together in this difficult time, and on Facebook groups, there have been many different residents offering help with necessities, judgment-free. It really does make you feel good to see people offering to help others.
It does. Businesses and utility companies are also lending a hand. Several stores in the community are hiring, such as Costco, Target, and Ralph's. Amazon US announced the good news. They will be hiring 100,000 new employees to keep up with the demand for its delivery services. Riverside County has a major Amazon distribution center. We will have a link on our website. Stater Brothers, Target, and other stores are opening early and exclusively to senior citizens and those with underlying health issues to ease shopping anxiety. A list of all participating stores will also be available on our website. SoCal Edison, SoCal Gas, and many other utility companies have announced they will not shut off customers' power for non-payment.
Although many companies are helping out customers, there are some smaller businesses that are struggling. If you're able to help, there are ways the community can contribute. You can purchase gift cards from small businesses in your community for later use. Order takeout from your local favorite. And if you have extra supplies, especially the necessities, such as toilet paper, donate them.
Jacob's House, a nonprofit in Temecula that helps house families who have a loved one in the hospital, will continue to accept donations of food and other household supplies. All food is to be either canned, frozen, and/or packaged food in its original manufactured container. We will have information on our website. If you want to find out more about Jacob's House, watch our segment from Season 2, Episode 2. The need for supplies at food banks throughout the county is greater than ever. Contact your local food pantry to see how they're accepting donations. Animal shelters are asking for help too. Wildomar's Animal Friends of the Valley report that the number of dogs and cats being admitted is increasing while fewer people are adopting right now. They need donations of food and money. Or you might want to consider adopting a pet to keep you company at home.
If you have purchased tickets to a nonprofit fundraiser or performing arts event that has been canceled, rather than asking for your money back, consider it a donation. The Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce recognizes the difficulties people are experiencing. They're connecting those in need with professionals in workforce issues, local supply chain, employer and employee resources, economic development, and even holding virtual networking events.
JDS Creative Academy is a small nonprofit business with a big event, DigiFest Temecula, which was scheduled for next month. I was able to sit down and chat with my executive producer, Diane Strand, before the governor's stay-at-home order to find out how things are shifting around. Well, thankfully, we were able to postpone DigiFest. So when are the new dates for 2020?
We are super excited that we were able to reschedule so easy. So August 21st, 22nd, and 23rd are the new DigiFest 2020 dates. And everything is just very easily just moving right to that weekend, from the locations to the times. Most of all of our industry professionals that we had lined up, they're all reconfirming for the new dates. As well as submissions just closed for the initial period this last weekend on March 22nd. But we are going to reopen submissions for about 3 weeks this summer. So anybody who may have been interrupted due to this COVID-19 outbreak and weren't able to finish their project, they'll be able to have time now to finish it, and then we'll reopen submissions this summer and they'll be able to still be involved with DigiFest 2020. So we're super excited about that.
Awesome. I'm so excited. Are we able to continue some of our same coverage to keep viewers in Riverside County informed?
Well, the short answer is yes. We are going to stay in touch. We're doing, obviously, this show is coming out, our monthly show. We're going to kind of do a different version of our SOI update. It will be done by us here who are staff, but we're going to be doing our social updates combined with a little SOI update and keeping our community informed, because that's what we're here to do, keep you in the know and the good to know.
Will the Sweet Spot radio segment still continue as well?
Yes, the plan is to keep moving forward. We do have 2 of our job training participants who have elevated to a pre-apprenticeship level, and they will be doing some volunteering and coming in and being a part of that, as well as we also are going to be doing it internally just to keep it going and keep the community informed of what's going on. That's what our mission, or part of what our mission, is about.
How has JDS Creative Academy classes as well as JDS Actor Studio been affected?
Well, they have. They've been interrupted. We're calling it a hiatus right now, or a long spring break at the moment. Not sure exactly when we'll be back up and running here at the studio and open to the public. But if this continues for a long stretch, we're going to try and implement new ways. Thankfully, we are digitally enhanced here, so we may be doing some virtual acting classes or virtual design classes or something like that, and just playing it day by day. And stay tuned. Our auditions for the spring shows, they've been rescheduled to April 8th as of right now. We'll see if that date holds, and we'll see if Willy Wonka ends up in May or in June.
At least we have that flexibility, right?
That's right.
So doing this interview and just being here, the studio looks a little different these days. How has JDS Creative Academy as a whole been affected?
The hardest thing has been that we've had to close our job training program with our consumers from Inland Regional. We service a special needs population, and we did shut it down until this passes, and then we will reopen and be right back with it. We are working remotely as much as possible. We are reinventing how we're going to communicate. We are still reaching out via technology that we fortunately have, and being able to communicate and stay close with not only our consumers who come here for the training program, and then coming in here when we need to, reach out to our residents and community.
What advice could you give to a business owner that might be experiencing some of the same things you are here at JDS?
Well, every business is different, and, I'm experiencing this day by day, just like everybody else is, and rolling with the punches. I've been just practicing, being as transparent as possible with my staff, being as honest, and having, as we say, it's time to get real talks, and doing everything we can. I mean, my employees are the world to me, so we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that we're taking care of who we can as we can, and taking it day by day. And that's what I would just say, that's what leadership is, day by day in honesty.
Very true. Well, as an employee, we're very thankful for that, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Through all this, I am glad we can share with residents the good to know and the need to know. Remember, viruses are as contagious as panic and fear, but so are love and kindness, so choose wisely. Wash your hands, keep your distance, and show some love and kindness.
Thank you for watching. We plan to keep you in the know as we all get through this together. Be sure and stay connected to our social media for our social updates with Gabriela Venturo, and listen to the JDSCA training crew giving the Sweet Spot News on 102.5 Divine Radio. Our whole SOI crew will be back as soon as this crisis passes. Until then, we will all be Zoom meeting.
You can find Spectrum of Innovation on TV, YouTube, all social media platforms, and our website. Follow the hashtag JDSFamily to stay in contact with us, as it's now more important than ever. Stay healthy and safe, and until next time, SOI out.